Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in today. If you're trying to truly drop fat in 2025, like I am, and you have to do it while working at a computer or working a desk job or maybe sitting a lot throughout the day, I think I've got some tips here that can really help you a lot, because if you're like me, you want to eat as much food as possible while losing as much body fat as possible. And in order to do that, we got to make some sacrifices and we got to do things a little bit differently. So that's exactly what I'm going to show you today in this video. So for breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner later, we're going to go through an entire day of eating and how I kind of get through the day while working from a computer or sitting for most of the day. And I'll take you through a workout later as well and kind of talk you through exactly how we manage all of this throughout the day. And everybody's going to be different, right? And not the same thing is going to work for everybody. But starting with breakfast, okay? For breakfast, I'm the type of person that I cannot stand savory foods for breakfast. I can't do it. I love sweet stuff for breakfast for whatever reason. Wake up with a sweet tooth, so I've got to have something sweet. So I'm going with peanut butter and jelly toast and a protein bar. And immediately you're going to push back and say, well, protein bar is not the right way to get a lot of food and low calories. I just really love these protein bars, okay? These are the best protein bars, in my opinion. The Bear Bells Creamy Crisp. This is the #1 draft pick, if you're asking me. And then right behind it, I mean, this would be its teammate on my team, the Cookies and Caramel from Bear Bells. I don't necessarily always recommend eating protein bars when you're trying to cut weight because, look, like protein bars, they're pretty small, right? It's not a lot of food, and it is 200 calories, but we are getting here 20 grams of protein, and we got to track the protein as well, because in order to meet the goals that we want to meet, we've got to be hitting a certain threshold of protein. Protein bars or protein shakes, they can be kind of an easy way to do that, but we've got to find alternatives. I mentioned it. So if you're like me, you like peanut butter and jelly toast for breakfast, you've got to find an alternative that is low calorie. And I'm so thankful that I found this Nature's Own Light, this keto bread. I'm not necessarily a person who does keto or anything like that, but I always am looking in the bread aisle at the store to find out, like, okay, is there anything lower than 60 calories per slice? Because if you see the ones that are like 45 to 50 calories or even a little bit less than that, oftentimes they slice the bread like way thin, way too thin. This bread right here, this keto bread, is 35 calories per slice with 6 grams of protein per slice. So I'm gonna eat 2 slices of this, 70 calories, 12 grams of protein, and look at the thickness of the slices here. I mean, they do not skimp when it comes to the thickness of the slice. And so you're getting a better volume of food. And if you want to be able to have peanut butter and jelly, a non-negotiable is peanut butter powder, not regular peanut butter, okay? I had a thing of regular peanut butter back here earlier, but I have the macros memorized because of how terrible they are. And I thought for so long, like, I'm eating peanut butter. Peanut butter is good for you. Peanut butter is totally fine. It's not that bad. Peanut butter for 2 tablespoons is 190 calories. It's obviously full of fat, it's full of sugar, it's full of all the things that are going to prevent you from reaching your goals in terms of cutting body fat or cutting weight, whatever it might be here in 2025. This stuff is going to help you out tremendously. Now, does this stuff taste like peanut butter? Not really, okay? It's very much its own thing. Peanut butter powder doesn't taste like peanut butter, but you can make it pretty good and pretty comparable to the point that, all right, you know what, I can live with this. If I'm trying to reach a goal, this is a sacrifice that I'm absolutely willing to make. And you know what? As long as I've been doing this, I don't necessarily even miss peanut butter anymore. So regular jelly, this is not too bad, right? This is 50 calories for 1 tablespoon, however. So 20 grams of this regular grape jelly, 50 calories in 1 tablespoon. That means that if I'm having 2 slices of bread, like, we're going way past the 2 tablespoon threshold here. So, and let me tell you, this thing right here, this scale that you need for your kitchen, every single one of us needs one of these scales for our kitchen. Why? Because you're gonna eyeball 2 tablespoons of jelly, right? You're gonna say, well, 2 tablespoons is just just covering the face of the bread. I promise you, you will be shocked at how much more you're actually eating when it comes to peanut butter, jelly, or really anything without actually being intentional about weighing it out. So that's what we have to do. We have to weigh it out. I'm gonna weigh out my 1.5 servings of this peanut butter powder, and I'm gonna use that for 2 slices of bread. And the alternative for jelly, this stuff, it's kind of spendy, but the good jelly is the best that I've found when it comes to no added sugar in terms of maintaining flavor. Because a lot of companies like this, they will make a reduced sugar or a low sugar or a no sugar version that absolutely tastes like medicine. It tastes like they ground up those little Flintstone things and put it into a jelly form and sold it and said it's strawberry jelly. It is not. This stuff, however, is very, very good. And let's just talk about comparison really quick. This is 50 calories for 1 tablespoon. This is 5 calories for 1 tablespoon. So this is 1/10 per serving of that, and it's less than 1 gram of sugar per serving, so you don't need to worry about that. I like the blueberry flavor as well. So I'm gonna cover 2 pieces of toast with peanut butter powder and this jelly right here. I'm gonna have 1 of these protein bars because 2 is too much for my overall calorie intake for the day, but I'm gonna choose the Creamy Crisp for today. And then what we got, obviously, just coffee, espresso. I put the espresso in. I sweetened it up with some of this coconut flavored Ready Whip. This stuff is another cheat code if you're on a cut, because this is 10 calories for 2 tablespoons, and it's kind of hard to get 5 grams of this. So I did 2 servings of this Ready Whip that's coconut milk flavored, and it does the job. And so the other thing that I'm gonna do to help curb my hunger over the course of the morning is I'm gonna have one of these hydration plus immunity packets. Just put it in a big cup of water, stir it up, and drink that along with your food. That's gonna help me a lot. Now, like I said, I don't like savory stuff. You could totally replace a lot of this with a bunch of eggs and other things like that that will give you a higher volume of food. But this is what I like to eat every single morning, and I've been doing this. My wife can attest. She's behind the camera. For over 6 months, I've been eating this stuff every single day, and I've lost nearly 20 pounds since last June. So not necessarily saying that it worked for everybody, but this right here is what I'm gonna knock out for breakfast today, and I'll see you for the next meal. All right, so we're at our second meal of the day, and obviously, as you can see, we have a shared space here during the day. Working from home has its advantages and it has its benefits. We get to hang out with our kids all day, and Mila makes lunch for all the kids here. But we're gonna be making kind of the staple that I've been having every single day. And just for a little quick look behind the curtain, the struggle is real. Look at the longing face over there of somebody waiting to watch Bluey while we're recording. We're recording this. She wants to watch Bluey. It's fine. And we might have somebody coming down wanting their V-Bucks for Fortnite, and we might have a crying baby behind the camera. It's all part of the gig, right? So, but this has been an absolute staple for me nearly every single day, and that's part of this whole journey. If you're trying to cut weight, if you're trying to cut fat, and you want to be consistent, finding things that you can just kind of whip up without even hardly thinking about it every day is such a huge advantage. And because we are trying to lose weight, we're in a cut, we have to be in a calorie deficit. And again, you want to eat as much as you can with as little calories as possible every single day. And therefore, we've got some liquid egg whites right here. This is not necessarily the most fun thing to eat every single day, but we will make it work, and we'll make it exactly how we want it here to at least be a little bit more palatable. We've got 1 slice of Velveeta cheese, 35 calories. I'm gonna go ahead and load up about 150 to 180 calories of the liquid egg whites. And then here's another cheat code. Okay, chicken sausages. You got to get some chicken sausages, and these by far are the best. You can find a wide variety of these at Costco. Walmart sells these in the smaller packages, but 110 calories, 12 grams of protein for 1 sausage. I'm gonna eat 2 of these. I'm gonna have about 150 to 180 calories worth of liquid egg whites with a slice of this cheese here to kind of flavor it up. always, always, always 0-calorie cooking spray. Don't add unnecessary calories through your cooking spray. As a matter of fact, these are a really great deal at Costco. We're gonna go get some more tomorrow night, but as you can see here, avocado oil, 0 calories right there. So we're cooking with 0 calories. And then the other cheat code that I have discovered that I love so much when I'm cutting is Fresca. I never thought I would see the day, but Fresca, very good. It's just kind of a citrusy soda water. I'm sure you've all had Fresca or have heard of it before, but again, the food scale, 15, 20 bucks on Amazon. You gotta have one because you gotta weigh this stuff out. If you just try to eyeball it, you're gonna be adding extra calories, and these extra 10, 15, 20, 30 calories a day adds up over the course of the week, and so you wanna make sure that you're not doing that. So I'll show you the final product when it's all done, but as boring as this looks, this is going to be a filling lunch for today. Okay, so this is the final product here. Not gonna be winning me any Michelin stars anytime soon, but obviously this will get the job done. This comes out to, and I'll post the picture of MyFitnessPal for the official calorie count, but a little under 400 calories for this entire plate. Obviously very high in protein. I'm gonna dress it up with some salt and pepper, maybe some yellow mustard, and if I'm really feeling crazy, I'll do a little bit of ketchup on there. You could do salsa. I don't know what it is. I've always liked ketchup on my eggs. Kind of probably gross to some of you, but again, it's just what you can do that will be consistent every single day and something that you can go back to. You can put this in a burrito bowl, heat it up at the office if you need to do so, but just something that can keep you consistent every single day. In order to truly see results when it comes to being in a calorie deficit, trying to cut weight, trying to cut down your body fat percentage, there's two things that are more important than anything. Number one, calories in. Number two, calories out. For me, the easiest way to at least start getting calories out is a pre-workout walk. Now, I'm gonna spend probably 25 minutes or so, 25 to 30 minutes, depending on how fast I'm going or how high the incline is on the treadmill. I'm just gonna walk. Why do I walk? Because it's one of the easiest forms of steady state cardio. I don't necessarily have to sprint. I don't need to do high intensity interval training. I don't need to go to a CrossFit class. I don't need to do insanity again. But you don't need to do the craziest forms of cardio in order to burn calories. Now, if you run instead of walk, or even jog for 25 to 30 minutes instead of walk, you can burn more calories. If that's sustainable for you, I say go for it. You might see results a bit faster. But for me, over the course of about 6 months last year, you kind of see where I started. Now, I didn't start tracking calories until late June. So from about the beginning of July to the end of June through the end of the year is when I was my most consistent. You know, when I wasn't trying to eat intuitively, when I wasn't just banking on, okay, I'm working out 4 to 6 times per week. That should be good enough for me to be seeing results. And if I'm not seeing the results, it's obviously not my fault, right? This allows you to be more accurate in how you're tracking things so that you can still eat some of the stuff that you want, but you can know how many calories are going in and how many calories are going out. So I'm gonna finish up this walk. We're gonna get to a shoulder day, and we're gonna eat some good food tonight. So after a couple of fairly boring meals to start the day, we're gonna do something actually fun here for dinner tonight. Everybody seems to love these Big Mac fries, healthy Big Mac, like loaded fries. Think nachos, but we're gonna put kind of Big Mac deconstructed on top of some air fried French fries. So a couple of things that you for sure will need. Obviously, you need ground beef for the main part of the protein here. This is 96.4 lean ground beef. You can get that wherever you get your groceries, obviously. This fry cutter, a huge life hack that my wife found. So we're gonna turn these potatoes right here into like actual French fry shapes. There's a little cutter right at the top here that you can see here. And we're gonna go ahead and just create French fries exactly that way. We're gonna make those in the air fryer. Everything's gonna start going at the same time. We've got lettuce to go on at the end, pickles, cheese, obviously dairy free for the wife, because you know right now she's unfortunately in dairy jail thanks to our little newborn over there. But we're gonna make it good, and we're gonna make some Big Mac sauce. Now, I've never worked at McDonald's. I have no idea what's in the Big Mac sauce. I can only guess. And so we've got the ingredients kind of right here. I call it the accoutrement for the deconstructed Big Mac sauce, and we're gonna make it healthy, okay? We're gonna measure out all these ingredients to make sure that we're not compromising our gains in the gym that we just got in order to eat something that we truly love. And who doesn't love a burger and fries, especially with Big Mac sauce? So I'll show you how it's done. Okay, so first, let's start the French fries. Those are gonna take the longest. We're gonna be monitoring those in the air fryer in 5-minute increments. And what I'm gonna do as far as portion goes, 1 potato per person that's eating. There's 5 of us here, so I'm gonna put 5 potatoes. The nutrition facts on here say 1 potato is 110 calories. That's good enough for me because they're obviously all gonna be different sizes. You could really measure it out if you're like trying to be exact and you don't wanna go a single calorie over whatever limit you've set for yourself. Go ahead and be more exact and precise about it, but I'm gonna throw 5 potatoes into this cutter, and then we're gonna put it in the air fryer, and we're gonna monitor those as we go. But check out this device. This thing is awesome. This is a life hack. If you like French fries, you just kind of stick it on the top there, and then you gotta use a little bit of elbow grease. You smack it down in there. Look at that, French fries right there, okay? So we're gonna do that 5 times, and then once these get into the air fryer, I kind of show you how I go about browning the beef and getting these things going in 5-minute increments. Okay, so this is what it looks like with 5 full potatoes inside the air fryer. Now, because of the way the air fryer works, you're really kind of defeating the purpose of the air fryer by throwing this many fries in there, but it will work if you take time to kind of switch them around every 5 minutes. So the stuff that's at the bottom is going to kind of absorb a lot of the liquid, and the stuff at the top is going to get really crispy. So what you need to do is kind of just shuffle them around in 5-minute increments. We're going to go 400, and we're just going to let it ride, and we'll kind of monitor these as they go along, and we'll season them at the end. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is brown the beef that we're going to be using. So I'm pre-seasoning the bottom because I'm going to lay it face down. The beef on the bottom is obviously going to get brown, and it's not going to be necessarily seasoned right away. So I'm pre-seasoning the pan or skillet or whatever I've got here with some salt, some pepper, and some garlic powder. Those are the secret 3 ingredients, by the way, to pretty much making anything taste good. So garlic powder, salt, pepper. You don't want it to burn, obviously, so we're gonna get that meat on there right away. All we're gonna do is let that meat brown on both sides. We're gonna add a little bit of, if you have beef stock or chicken stock or beef broth, chicken broth, whatever you have, add a little bit of that liquid after you've already browned this, because that's gonna add a ton of flavor to your meat. And also because this is 96.4, it's very, very lean. It'll dry out quickly, so you wanna add a little bit of liquid as you cook it. So it's been exactly 5 minutes on the air fryer. You can see the potatoes, they're obviously not even close to being done, not even close to French fry status at this point, but trust the process here, okay? We're gonna stir them around a little bit, get some of them that are on the bottom up to the top. Trust that this is gonna turn out exactly the way you want it to, with some nice crunchy French fries, with some good chew in the middle. It's gonna be great. Put it back in, 5 more minutes. All right, it's time to make healthy Big Mac sauce. Now, I say this kind of loosely because obviously Big Mac sauce is what it is. You could try to use like Greek yogurt. I haven't done a ton of experimenting with recipes, but we are going to be using light mayonnaise for this. Now, again, you could find healthier options for the base, but look, you know what? This is one of those areas that we're not going to be eating a ton of this sauce. At least I won't be. The kids might be. But what we're going to do is kind of, I would normally eyeball every single ingredient here, but for the sake of this video, I'm actually going to weigh this out. So just give me a second here to open this up.
3 hours later.
All right, so we've got the dang mayonnaise opened up. 35 calories for 15 grams. And again, I'm eyeballing this a little bit, but now that I know that every 15 grams is gonna be 35 calories, to be able to kind of accurately measure out different serving sizes here. That's about four servings right there-ish. And we're gonna start with that as our base, okay? So every McDonald's Big Mac sauce is gonna have some form of, like, that's gonna be the flavor. That's the flavor base that we're working with here. Ketchup, obviously, number 2. I'm not gonna calculate the calories on the ketchup, but you have to kind of eyeball, because you want your Big Mac sauce to be that nice light orange color. One of the ways that you achieve that is a little bit of red, a lot of white. That's how you get the orange, but of course, you have to add the yellow. The mustard has to go in there. Don't use a ton of mustard, because this will overpower the flavor of the Big Mac sauce. You want to start with a little. You can always add more. Start with a little bit of mustard. The secret ingredient, dump some of this pickle juice in there. That's why you use very little of the mustard, very acid, type flavor. This is going to add a little bit more of that, but also with a little bit more depth in the flavor. So just a splash of that in there. And then we're gonna go in with some minced onion. This is one of the things that I know McDonald's uses in Big Mac sauce. So just kind of eyeball some minced onion for flavor and texture. I'm adding a personal spin on this with some nutritional yeast, a clutch ingredient that you should just put into most things at this point. Paprika, that's gonna give you another little bit of depth of color and a little bit of smokiness to the flavor. So you wanna kind of just add that. Again, you could call it a teaspoon, you could call it 2 teaspoons, whatever you want to call it. We're eyeballing these ingredients here a little bit. And then the final ingredient is chopped up pickles, okay? Dill pickles, preferably, in my opinion. So we're going in with those. Again, I'm not measuring any, because pickles are nearly 0 calories. So the primary calorie source from this sauce is obviously going to be coming from the mayonnaise, the light mayonnaise, which is 35 calories per serving. We use 4 servings, and now we're gonna mix all this up, taste test, and see what we need to add. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes in the air fryer, kind of shuffling these things around every 5 or so minutes, just monitoring them, making sure that they're not getting burnt, and then also making sure that everything kind of gets evenly cooked as much as possible. This is kind of what you want them to look like. And pro tip, what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna actually add some of this cheese. We'll do some of the Velveeta for me and the kids, but this cheese right here for the wife, and she's gonna get that just a nice crusty melty cheese on top, exactly how you want it for the base layer of these Big Mac nachos. One thing that I did forget is when you take these out of the air fryer, obviously before you put the cheese on it, we're gonna hit it with a little avocado oil spray, and then we are going to season these up with, once again, the home run seasoning mixture. That would just be sea salt, that would be pepper, and garlic powder, once again, just to season the fries before you cheese your fries. Toss those around, obviously. And then again, if you want, the pro tip is to put them back into the air fryer with the cheese on top, so the cheese gets nice and melty and crusty. So after assembling everything, we've got about 1.5 servings of the fries there, which turns out to be about 170 calories. And then we've got our ground beef on there. We've got our Big Mac sauce hidden under there somewhere as well. All told, if you count the calories and the macros on this thing, I mean, it's pretty insane. I'll put the full recipe up from MyFitnessPal. This is literally a cheat code. A lot of volume, obviously gonna curb those cravings for the cheeseburgers that you may have, and it's really, really good stuff. It is now the best time of day, which is Ninja Creami time. Now, full disclosure, I actually filmed me making a Ninja Creami creation a couple of days ago, and I was trying to kind of convince myself in the taste testing process that it was gonna be okay. it was not okay. It was one of the few Ninja Creami creations that I didn't finish. It was a strawberry cheesecake flavor, which you would think like, man, that should be really good, should be pretty foolproof. But I've made enough Ninja Creami creations at this point now that I don't necessarily follow all of the instructions that I'm given from the recipes that I'm going off of. And so probably should have followed that one to the T since it was my first time making it. But we're going to a classic here tonight. And that classic, although it doesn't look like much here, is Oreo Puffs cereal milk ice cream, which very, very interesting. I used to eat the Oreo O's as a kid. These are very similar. And then we've obviously got our mix-ins here for later, the Oreo extra stuff thins. And so you want to watch your calories on the mix-ins, obviously, but this creation right here with everything that I put in it, let me just kind of quickly show you the ingredients here. The fat-free Fairlife, which is 80 calories for 1 cup. So we go 1 cup of the fat-free Fairlife, 1 cup of unsweet vanilla almond milk, which as you can see is 30 calories. So that overall in total will put us at 110 calories. Then we go in with 110 calories or 1 scoop of Quest vanilla milkshake protein. This stuff is perfect for cooking, for recipes. It's the ideal stuff. So those are the ingredients. That sugar-free or zero sugar Jello pudding mix is 20 calories a serving. We use 1 serving of that. And all told, after you put it in, you dredge the cereal milk, which actually looks something like this. Let me pull out one that I have going in the fridge right now. So I actually put this one in a couple of hours ago. This is gonna be Reese's Puffs cereal milk ice cream. This is an absolutely goated recipe. So to dredge the cereal, what I do is I just do the 2 versions of the milk. So the fat-free Fairlife, again, 1 cup, and then we're going in with 1 cup of almond milk. And then I'm stirring that Reese's Puff cereal around, and you can kind of just eyeball that, but then weighting it down so that that cereal kind of stays dredged in the milk. Overnight, ideally, but if you only have if you want to do it in the morning before you leave for work, you can do that. But it should kind of look something like this while the cereal milk is kind of doing its magic behind the scenes. And then you just stick it in the fridge, and then we'll put it in the freezer after 8 hours. So it's a longer process, but man, it's a mindless process once you get it down. 1 cup of milk, 1 cup of almond milk, and then dredging the cereal in there. It's really not a difficult process by any means. Always bite ice cream. This is always what it's gonna look like when you first open up the lid from your Ninja Creami, but do not be scared, do not be worried that you did it wrong. This is what it is kind of supposed to look like. Not every recipe does this, but all the ones that I've ever made do this. At first it looks just crumbly and dry. It actually kind of helps us out quite a bit here because we're gonna dig a hole right in the center where our mix-ins are gonna go. Throw in your mix-ins. If you're doing the Oreo thins, I would recommend just crumbling them up just a little bit. Otherwise, you're gonna get really big chunks instead of dispersed chunks. We're gonna take a handful of that cereal. It's 50 calories for half a cup. I figure if I can grasp half a cup, that's an extra 50 calories there. All told, this Ninja Creami creation is gonna come out to be roughly 400 calories. Almost forgot to mention, we hit this back on the mix-in setting. So we hit full once we reload it, and then we hit mix-in. And while that's finishing up mixing, I've gotta let you know that the person who really turned me on to the Ninja Creami, his name is Zach Rushalow, Flexible Dieting Lifestyle on YouTube. Absolutely amazing video with so many great creations for the Ninja Creami. A lot of them that I've tried. Cookie butter, incredible. Reese's Puff cereal milk, incredible. Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal milk, incredible. And some baseline ones that I use all the time. Like if I'm in a rush, just a white chocolate or vanilla, things like that you can just add your mix-ins to. So I'll post a screenshot of his channel as well, and I highly encourage you to go watch that video to get inspiration for your Ninja Creami creations as well. I mean, just look at that right there. That is the consistency of ice cream that I desire. Hope you enjoyed this video. I appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't already done so, hit like, hit subscribe, get this content out there to more people, and just appreciate y'all so much. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Whenever you're watching this, we'll see you soon.